see how you feeling after it's been a couple days. Hopefully everything's all right with you guys. You know how Bill fans are. I
I
was
think
thinking
you.
that they should get used to this by now, but sometimes they still.
I see. Just trying to rub it in now, bro. It's been days and days. We didn't even do the other games. You still want to go back to the same game?
You know, just have to say because I see a lot of Bill fans living upstate New York. Everywhere you go, man, with my Eagle shit on, everybody want to look at me like I just stole something.
That's what Kuba was saying. It was like the reason why I don't like the Bills fans because I go to Wegmans, all I see is Bills jerseys. I said, dude, I can guarantee you, if you go to Philadelphia today, you go into stores, you're not gonna see Buffalo Bill stuff there. You're gonna see
Right.
Eagle stuff. It's
True
it's
that.
the territory. You know what's in New York, man? It's all Buffalo Bills. But
Yep.
yeah,
But
let's get into it, man.
let's get into it. Starting on Thanksgiving Day, man. Happy belated Thanksgiving, man. How was your
Thank you, man.
Thanksgiving, bro?
It was excellent. I was a little bit under the weather. I was pretty much in the basement all day watching
Yeah,
football and taking medication. But hey, I'm getting better now. But
that's good,
I
man.
mean, I even forgot that we had Thursday games
Yo, we had, dude, we have Thursday game, man. The first game,
and
especially.
and Friday too. Don't forget Black
Oh
Friday.
yeah, Friday we had a Black Friday game with Miami pulling it off against. Not surprised about that. Were you surprised at the score?
The Miami game.
The Miami and the Jets game.
Well, I mean, no, I wasn't surprised. Well, maybe a little. I had thought Miami might score more points than they did, but I mean, I guess that was a blowout. Technically, it was a blowout.
Yeah, 34-13 is still a division again, but let's get back to the Thursday night or Thursday Thanksgiving Day with
The
shocker that
Detroit
everybody.
Lions and Green Bay Packers.
Wow, Detroit actually just wet the bait, man. Since the start of the game, I feel like the Parkers just showed up just to punch them in the mouth. They were very aggressive offensively, and they work out for them. You
Yeah,
know,
and the final score says 29 22, but
right?
I kind of feel like watching the actual game, it didn't seem this close.
No,
And
no.
I mean, and I know people have been asking question since that game, like on sports apps, are the Detroit Lions for real or they're just pretenders? I mean, you can say they're just pretenders. They've won so many good games, so
Yeah.
I think they're still a threat. You just can't just because they lost at home, right? No, they were on the road. They lost to Green Bay. It doesn't mean
Oh
that
no, no. There was a home at that game
were they
against
at home
Green
this
Bay. Yeah.
past game.
Yep. The past game against Green Bay, they were home on Thanksgiving Day. I mean, I
I mean,
guess they should get used to losing on Thanksgiving days, but
they always lose.
right, we thought this would be a different Thanksgiving based on their performance so far. But
Yeah, but what I mean, what do you think? Do you think they're just pretenders? I think they're not. I think they're for real.
well, I don't know. It's hard, man. After watching this game, because then like, because we all know it's a game of what you
Division
what
game too. Don't forget.
yeah, it's a division game. It was tough, but it was also is a game about how you show up week in week out, right? Any given Sundays, like the
Right,
Eagles
but
against the
also
Jets
remember it's
game.
12 o'clock start time. It's a little different.
I don't want to give them no excuses. I feel like they should have showed up and do more better in the first, especially in the first half. So I won't call them a pretender, but I still will just hold on to saying we will see what's gonna happen with them.
Right, but I mean, if you had to rank the NFC teams at this point right now, where would you rank the Detroit Lions at this point? Even after that loss on last Thursday,
Well, of course, I'm gonna put the Eagles, the 49ers, and I will put the Cowboys over them
you
because of
would.
yeah, I would only do that based on the Cowboys. I think offensively they're better. Defensively too. If you look at the Cowboys, are actually a good team. I know as an Eagle fan, I don't want to admit that, but that's just the reality. And I will put the Cowboys over them. So probably they might be number 4 in the NFC.
Okay, even if you put them at number 4, it's pretty good, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So I mean, things happen, man. It's the same team that went to Kansas City and beat Kansas City on the road.
right.
So I know it
Eh,
was open. It was first game opening game, and things
uh-huh.
happen. But hey, they have what's the record now? They won 8 games.
They're 8-3.
Ah, that's impressive. That's very impressive for Detroit Lions. Don't forget these years and years that used to go
Right.
0-16, and
Oh yeah.
1 game, 2 games. So I mean, it's a big improvement. I don't know. I don't think they've arrived yet to be a threat in the NFC conference year after year, but I think that they gone the right direction.
Yeah, man, it's a game of momentum. And so see if they catch it up the right time and move forward. I mean, Jordan Love actually played well in that game. He was very aggressive, man. He threw a 3 touchdown, 268 yards,
Yeah,
and everything helped out, man. Even the running game wasn't so bad because he was coming from different people, Jordan Love
I
and
mean, so I
Dolan,
mean,
all these guys, you know. But I don't
right?
know, man. The Miller Park is not going nowhere, man. Green Bay
They're
not
not
going
going
nowhere.
anywhere, but don't be surprised if they do make the playoffs, though. Remember,
Yeah,
all you gotta do is get in.
they're
you,
getting
you,
the
for,
bounce in the first game. First
you,
game, they out.
you forgot the Giants.
That's way back, bro. That's not the same team.
It's no. It's not the same team, but I'm saying all you gotta do is get in. You can
Right.
get in and get hot at the right time and have good matchups, and you might end up yourself in the Super Bowl. They won like 9 games that year, I think,
Bro, we're
or
not
8 or
talking
something
about
like
this Green Bay team making it to the playoff or making any runs, bro.
that. Well, maybe not. Maybe
Nah.
not.
Yeah, but the second game, of course, the Cowboys beat the Commanders as they will always beat teams like that. They always spank on them. It was really beating though. 45-10 the division again was no match. Cowboys actually look good at home, and this season they did look really good at home. So tomorrow we'll find out when the Seahawks showed up there. There's not much to actually say about that game because literally we always know it was one sided. But what do you
Right,
think about the Cowboys so far, bro? The teams that they spank on and the teams that they lost
right.
against is totally different.
Exactly. The Cowboys is one of those teams that is kind of hard to predict because they are so good against bad teams.
Right.
When they play good teams, they lose. And every week we compare the Cowboys to the Miami Dolphins, who are very impressive when they play
Yep.
weaker teams, but when they play good teams, they lose. I know what's so crazy. Those two teams, they do play each other. I think a couple weeks from now. So
Can't wait. I'll be. This is where you're gonna be a Cowboy fan. I'll be Miami fan.
right, I'm gonna be a Cowboys. Yeah, I'm gonna be a Cowboys fan. But
That's crazy.
since both of those two teams can really beat good teams, so when they play each other, like whoever wins that game, do you think they're gonna prove something to us or no?
Well, Miami is still they're still offensively threat. You know, I know we haven't showed. I mean, they haven't showed it against like teams like the Eagles or the Buffalo Bills. But
Right,
you could also know that they got Tyreek Hill, so that's
Tyreek Hill,
always something to worry about. You know, and
Waddle,
like yeah, you know, Water and all these guys. You know, but same thing with the Cowboys. I mean, they still got Doc. Doc actually playing well, and they still the Cowboys. That's why me as a division rival, I'm more worried about them than I am with the 49ers. Because
really?
in a division game, anything can happen because we know each other. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
with the Niners coming like next week against the Eagles, we're gonna get more into that. But like whatever team showed up like this week going through next week because the Cowboys got to play us the following week. So the
Hmm.
Cowboys don't need to wait until they face Miami for us to know whether they're real or not. Even the game against us, they actually did well. Anything could go wrong with them. Whatever could go happen, what can go wrong will go wrong. But I still think Cowboys is more threat than Miami is.
like like you mean the Cowboys are a bigger threat in the NFC in the NFC than the Dolphins are in the FC?
Yes,
Hmm. I don't know if I agree with that.
because like I think you guys, I think the Bills are capable of beating the Dolphins in the
Again.
playoff. Yes, in the playoff,
Right.
especially in the playoff. And I think Kansas City could beat them in the playoff, no matter what's the struggle is. And I do believe that Baltimore could beat the Dolphins
In the playoff.
in the playoffs. Even if well, we can't say Cincinnati because Joe's out, but
Right. Without Joe Burrow, they're not the same
yeah.
team.
And with the Cowboys, okay, yes, they lost against the 49ers, but with us, that could go either way against the Eagles. And with the 49ers too, I believe that of course I want the 49ers to beat them, but I think that game too could have went either way. That's why I
Yeah,
believe the Cowboys are more a bigger threat.
yeah, probably.
Yeah, and the 49ers and the Seahawks game, I'm very disappointed. I was very disappointed in the Seahawks. I expect more from them, especially at home.
You're
And the
right.
49ers showed up. He was at first he was tight until Geno Smith, dude, this guy had three opportunities to actually had an interception. And the third, I think he threw the interception. Somebody else got the goddamn interception or something. But Gino wasn't impressive in
Yeah,
my eyes, but hopefully
he had.
tomorrow he showed up.
I mean, he has zero touchdowns, one interception. You can't beat the 49ers like that.
Right.
You can't depend on the special teams or your defense to win your games. When you're playing a good team like that, as you gotta at least as an offensive unit, you gotta put at least 14 or 21 points to even get
Right.
close to yeah, you 180 yards all game. Yeah, that's not acceptable.
No. Like, especially not against the 49ers where you got all these
Right.
weapons in the offense. You give your defense no chance at all to even survive.
And you know what? And the 49ers, I mean, like most fans, we've been saying that their quarterback is just a game manager. But that kid is, I think, is proving us that
Yeah.
actually he can play. I
He
mean,
he could actually play, man.
it need to say, but he can play.
Especially like the way I just like the way he used the weapons around him. And he do got a lot of help though on the offense.
He does got a lot of help. He
He
has
got he
like,
got a lot of help compared to a lot of quarterbacks in the league.
I think
Compared
compared
to
to every single quarterback in the league.
uh, exactly, he got help on defense, offense, with wide receiver, CMC man, Christian, dude, that running back man, that kid's
Right.
dude, he could catch, he could run.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You're right. They just loaded. Yeah. His team is just so good. He doesn't have to play a perfect game for them to win.
right.
I'm just trying to look at the stats. Like he only, I mean, he had one interception, one touchdown for
Yeah,
209. It's not very
right.
impressive if you're just looking at the stats. But what's more important, well, he had one turnover, I guess, but it wasn't. It didn't do too much damage because the overall team is just so good. So
Right.
I mean, I don't know, man. I see them. I see them going find the playoff.
And yeah, it's gonna be tough, man. Especially next week they're facing us at home, Southwest Philly. But it's gonna
And
be good. Moving
uh,
down to the Steelers. Go ahead.
one more thing I was gonna say. One thing that works to Philadelphia's advantage, I think, because I believe Philly by the end of the season they're gonna have the best record in the NFL. So
Hope
which
so.
means they're gonna host that NFC Championship game,
Right.
and I don't see 49ers coming to Philly and winning.
I hope it's same thing this weekend, but this weekend is gonna be one of the games too. But I still don't see it's gonna be as exciting as the Bills game.
Why
Well,
not?
the
You
Bills
know
game
what?
was mixed emotion. It was-
Also, the Bills game as the Bills offense, they don't always show it, but they could be really explosive. That's why
right.
that's what made that game exciting. You know what the 49ers gonna do is just pound the ball, run the ball, run the ball. So it won't be they won't be throwing 500 yards. I don't think that's happening. So maybe that's why it won't be as
Josh Allen threw 51 times, and I don't see
right,
49ers doing that because 49ers is more like RPO kind of,
right,
The
right.
West Coast offense and all that.
He
But
threw
if the 49ers are smart, if they're watching the Eagles all season, they will throw the ball. Dude,
yeah, but
our
you need a
secondary
quarter.
is
You need the right quarterback to shank it 50, 60 times. I mean,
having having all these weapons on the outside and then having a play caller like the way the 49ers are, dude, they're
and
offensively thrift.
I know, but also this past game, even though he threw it 30 times, I mean, he only completed 21 of those 30, but he only had 209 yards. Because a lot of the passes really that he completes, they're like
Yep.
very, very short passes. I think
Yeah.
they lead the league in yards after catch because all he does is just almost like a hand, like he's just handing the ball, but they're
Right.
short passes. But when he give us McCaffrey a ball, it doesn't matter where he gets the ball from. He's
Yep.
gonna give you another 10, 12, 15 yards. I mean, every single play on that team, like the yards after catch, is just so crazy that he could throw for 40 times and you're probably gonna end up with only 180 yards, really.
Right. The Steelers and the Bengals, man. Steelers pulled this on another boring game. I won't even say it was a defensive game because of lost code. Both teams just offense is trash.
16-10.
The
Yeah.
Steelers are trash, and I don't know, but they will make it to the playoff. I think if Buffalo don't re up and do something about it,
I know.
and
But also, didn't they just get rid of their offensive coordinator last week?
right,
The
Matt
Steelers.
Canada was gone, and he still looked the same. Well, this is just the first game. He's not excited as the Bills' first game when they got rid of the offensive coordinator.
Right. But you know what? Like, I know you're not a Steelers fan, but I know a lot of Steelers fans have been complaining about. They were complaining about their offensive coordinator before he got fired, but he should have been gone a long time ago.
Right.
Do you really think it was mostly him, or maybe the quarterback they have maybe just not what they think he is? Do you think like what do you what do you think? You think he's an elite quarterback, or he just like a game manager?
I don't think he's an elite quarterback, and then I don't think that he has enough opportunity to show that he's an elite quarterback based on the play calling and the way that they was moving the offense. Now, I'm
But they
not
don't.
gonna call him. I haven't seen him at all. I have no
Yeah, but don't you think that's because of lack of trust?
tattoo, so we haven't really seen him much to call him elite or not. Maybe the next couple games we get to see a lot when he start turning the balls over or give
I
him
mean,
opportunity to at least throw the ball.
we are what? We are like week 12 now, week 13. That's not in that's not enough to
That's the reason.
give
That's the
judgment.
reason. That's the reason why the Matt Canada got fired as an offensive coordinator because he didn't. He wasn't really using most. I mean, I guess the play calling sucked. Now he's gone. Let's see what's gonna happen with the
Well, like
next
you
guy
said,
that
he's
showed up.
gone. They only scored 16 points still. So, and
Right,
actually,
but it's just the first game, so we got a
it is
couple
the
more
first.
games.
It is the first game, but guess what? They didn't even score. He threw zero touchdowns. I mean, zero interception. I mean, he threw for 278 yards, which I think is impressive.
That is impressive. See, I didn't even look at that stat
Yeah,
like that. Like he threw
278,
300.
and he averaged 11.6 yards a throw, which is pretty good. Actually, I'm surprised, but
Right.
it doesn't seem like the offense really scored that many. Well, they only scored 16, so obviously they didn't score a lot of points. Um, I'm just trying to see how many touchdowns.
Do you think that is also got to do with the competition with the Bengals defense and because it is a divisional game? I
Right,
mean, mostly
right,
division game, we don't expect no blowouts unless you're playing Bills and Dolphins game
right.
or
But
Dolphins playing Jets.
yeah, I know it's a division game, but throughout the year, I don't have the stats in front of me, but I don't think the Steelers have been scoring a lot of points throughout the season.
Yep.
And I know you're gonna say it's the offensive coordinator. I I don't
Well, that's
know.
the reason why he got fired. I'm guessing. So I don't know. But what you think about the Jaguars and Texan game, 24-21? CJ Stroud, the young talent quarterback. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
this this was probably his worst game as a pro.
you think so?
Um, yeah, he didn't. You're right. He didn't play so well. Um,
I
compared to
think
how
that I think not turning the ball over, of course, and having over 300, had 304 yards and 2 touchdowns.
you're right.
And I know I didn't.
I
I
mean,
think like when you look at
it's
the number wise,
you're right.
but did the numbers comes in garbage time? Because I know they were down the channel
I That's what I was
tie the
gonna
game.
say.
So okay,
Sometimes stats don't always tell the truth. Yeah, he had two
right,
touchdowns and zero interceptions and 304 yards, which is if you're just looking at the stats, that's very impressive. But obviously, they didn't. It wasn't enough to win the game. They only scored 21 points. I guess even though it wasn't impressive, it was not the reason why they lost that game.
right. What you think about the coach? You see, the coach is a team I haven't paid attention to this year, but they're 6-5. And they're
I
above
know
Buffalo. Right. I haven't paid so much attention to it. I don't even know like who since the kid got hurt, since the starting quarterback got hurt, I was like, okay,
because the Colts remember at their running back, they had problems with him.
right,
He didn't start the season. There was a lot of problems just all around them, and nobody really expected them to do anything. And then from nowhere, he comes back, which is so crazy. They have been arguing with him about his contract throughout the off season into the
right,
season, and then from nowhere, they gave him a deal. and he's back, and it's like he never left, and they're gonna make the playoffs. I think they will make the playoffs.
He's
It
still
helped.
he's
It
Jonathan
it
Taylor still putting numbers up, by the way, man.
and
So
it helped.
nobody's not really talking about, how running backs don't get the money they wanted.
Yeah,
This guy's still putting his numbers. He's still really, really like averaging like 15 carries. He's still averaging closer to 100 yards or more,
yeah,
touchdowns after touchdowns. I think it's a good thing that he back for them. But like I said, haven't paid much attention to the Colts. But
yeah.
just when you look at the stacks of Jonathan Taylor, he actually doing his thing this season. But he's
y-
on the low. Nobody talking about him.
yeah, and I think also, um, because of the division they play in, they probably have a better shot at making
The playoff.
the playoffs than the Bills, because you don't think, and I don't know how their schedule is looking like, but if they play the Texans and the Tennessee Titans, you don't think they can win those games?
The next game is going to be the Titans again. Then play the Bengals. They play the Steelers. They play the Falcons. Play the Raiders and play the
Right. Yeah,
Texans again.
The Tennessee Titans have won 4 games all season. They lost
Yeah,
they lost Tannehill in what, it was like first week of the season. When did it go out? Couple weeks into the season,
I think so. Yeah, if I'm
and
not mistaken. Yeah,
you're right. So they're not, and I'm surprised they didn't make that many moves at the deadline, like getting rid of Derrick Henry. If they really care for Derrick Henry, they should have let him go to a like a Super Bowl contender right now, so he don't waste his. Listen, I don't think he wants to be part of the rebuild right now. He's trying to win right now because he's, especially as a running back, he's getting old. But I'm surprised they never traded him and he's still
right.
there. But they're not going anywhere. And I think I think the Jaguars will win the division. Me being a Bills fan, I'm just hoping that the Colts and the Texans keep losing games. That's the only way we get in.
Right.
And you know what?
Man, it's funny that everything you say about the Bills actually put themselves in this position, though.
They
That's
did.
a crazy thing, though.
The saddest part in sports. You know what? One of the saddest parts in sports is when you have to depend on other
Right.
teams to help you get in. If you're not controlling your own destiny, man, it sucks. You just
It
can't.
really
You
is,
can't.
man.
Now I'll be
Yo,
sitting there praying that, oh, we hope this team wins.
dude, the Saints, Falcons beat the Saints, and what's the quarterback name for the Saints? Derek
Uh,
Carr.
Der-
Dude, this guy, man.
Derek, what do
Yo,
you think?
I have
Because I
no.
got a few things to say about him.
Go ahead.
Because so when he got traded from Vegas, right? He
Right.
made he I watched a few clips of him talking about it. He was going to New Orleans, get a fresh start, and pretty much he was saying he's gonna show that the Raiders made a mistake and he's gonna play and show out. But so far, I don't even know who's better between him and Jameis Winston. I don't even know who's better.
Uh,
They are both they are both just not the all over the place.
But the only difference is that for me, I think that Jimmy Winston threw more interceptions.
He does. But you
He
know what?
he really
Like
can that thing out. Like he doesn't go
and
for
he,
it.
and he threw up a lot of yards too.
Right. But Derek Carr, I think that some of the games you watch is like, yo, dude, what the hell are you doing? You know what I'm saying? And then he still put his numbers up individually, but he just don't know how to. I don't know. Maybe the Saints just bad overall, bro.
Maybe. I mean, he had 304 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 1 interception.
The
He
one
averaged.
interception, I think, was pick six,
It was yeah, it was right. Was it like the last like in the last end of the game, like there was an end or something?
something like that. Yeah, but I just he's not just one of the quarterback I would turn my TV on just to watch.
Yeah, no.
You know,
I've never been impressed with him his whole career. I mean,
right?
sometimes he did put up some good numbers because he had